Good afternoon, everybody. This is Cheryl doing her All Things Cheryl. And of course, we are going to be getting into the final episode and the finale of Greenleaf, episode 16, season 2. We are hanging out with Charity and Jabari. And of course, Charity has gone on a tour. And Jabari is in the background looking at Charity do her thing. And the song that's playing and everything is called A Better Days. Now, apparently the original woman did not make the tour. And so Charity is doing a background tour for another woman. And as the song Better Day is, as they are singing, Charity is getting ready to do her thing, we begin to get into what is about to transpire, and then we see a silhouette. And in that silhouette, we see that the bishop is basically instructing Marisol to take all of his clothes, all of his suits, and put them on a rack and move them from the master bedroom into the next bedroom. In the meantime, while Marisol is, doing all of this, we see that basically Grace is coming out, and she noticed that Marisol is going into, the extra bedroom where Carissa and Jacob was. And so Grace says, what's going on? What's happening? So Marisol is like, well, the bishop is basically moving out of the master bedroom. And so Grace is like looking really like she doesn't know exactly what is going on and what is happening. And so we get further into the season, to the episode. We see that Lady Mae is basically sitting at her desk, or at her in the bedroom, looking at a box that basically she has found. And inside that box is all kinds of pictures and articles, especially the one that had to do with her brother. And we see that along with that, we see some pearls and everything along with that also, a string of pearls and everything. Along with the string of pearls, we also see a deed. And so basically, she takes the deed and she reads it and everything. And so we go on to the next scene. We see that Lady Mae is basically sitting with her two granddaughters, Sophia and Zora. And she presents them with a pearl necklace. Each one of them gets a pearl necklace. And then she goes on and she explains the reason why and how basically pearls, you get pearls in form. And she goes on to this little story about, the parasites and the parasites and the forming of the parasites, and one thing led to another, and that's how you get pearls. So she tells her granddaughter, she says, look, the both of you all are pearls, and it's, that's how it is. And so we go on into the scene. We see that Kevin has decided that he wants to come back. And so Marisol, the maid, comes into the bedroom because Lady Mae is really getting ready to go to the cotillion. And so I'm going to tell you guys, they working, they are really working Marisol. This maid is like, they are really, really working her. But anyway, we see that Kevin decides that he, comes back onto the scene. I was like, oh, Kevin, so you decide you want to come back on the scene. Oh, I said, you disappear. You leave and you don't say anything. You just leave a little note and you just move on. I was like, oh. And so basically, him and Lady Mae have a conversation about him having parental rights and that baby Nathan is his child. And basically, he's correct. Baby Nathan is his child. But he also goes on to explain, the reason why he left. He left is because he was confused, he was upset, he was scared, he didn't know what was going on. So he needed to leave to find himself. And he basically really came there to apologize to Charity. But come to find out, Kevin finds out that Charity is not there. Charity is not there. Forget it, Kevin. Charity has moved. I'm not going to say Charity has moved on, but Charity is getting a taste of another man. Let's just put it that way. And so Kevin is like, well, where is she? And Lady Mae said, I'm sorry. She's nowhere here. She's not here. I will let her know that you did come to visit. And Kevin says, yeah, I came to visit. I came to see Charity, and I came to see Nathan because I needed to apologize. And so Lady Mae basically, as her usual self, tore into Kevin and said, so you decide you want to become a man, oh no, or you decide you want to apologize after you just up and left. It really doesn't matter about, your sexuality. The main fact of the matter is that you up and left your child. You up and left your responsibility. And so Kevin said, well, yeah, you really got me on that one, and you're correct. I did. And you know what? I'm back now. I'm ready to be a father. And, hey. And basically what it is this. Here's the deal. Here's the 411. I'm the father. I am the father. And so, here we go. They call Marisol. And Lady Mae says, Marisol, would you have Kevin's car to be called so he could basically leave? It's time for him to leave. And so while Kevin is waiting for his car to be brought up to him, he gets on the phone. And guess what? We find out he calls Aaron. And Aaron didn't even say, hey, how are you doing? What's going on? How you feeling, Aaron? By the way, Aaron says, how did it go? And so Kevin said, it went exactly how I thought it would go. And so Kevin said, it went exactly that way. And so Aaron tells Kevin, he says, oh, okay. Well, I'm here for you. If you need anything, you let me know. And that's when Kevin says, yes, I'm going to need you. And so we know that it's getting ready to get on. It's getting ready to be a battle of Kevin, baby Nathan, Charity. It's getting ready to break loose up in the Greenleaf mansion. So in the meantime, we see that Mavis has returned the phone call to Lady Mae. Apparently, Lady Mae has left Mavis a phone call. And so Mavis is very short with Lady Mae. She says, okay, what it is, what do you want, Lady Mae, what do you want? She says, basically, I have some good news for you. And Mavis was like, what kind of good news do you have? And it can't be but so much good news. She said, I believe I found some paperwork that's proving that you still have the club. What is it about my club? Mavis says, what is it about the club? She says, I have some paperwork, saying that, you're still the owner of your club. And so Mavis says, oh, okay, well, I want to see it. Let me see it, or anything like that. And so this is when Lady Mae and they hung up the phone on each other. So now we are at the cotillion, everybody. We're at the cotillion, and everybody is looking very, very well. But before I get into this cotillion, I want you all to know that Kevin, when he came back, he was looking well. He was looking very composed. He was very sure of himself. He had, in other words, he grew up. He had this beard and everything, and actually the beard was very, very becoming. So let's go on back over to the cotillion. Well, we're at the cotillion, right? And everybody is looking fine, and they're cleaning up real well, and they're taking mother, daughters, and family pictures, and the photographer is snapping all over the place, and snap, just doing his thing with the camera. And so the photographer says, okay, well, let's get a shot of you two. Let's get a shot of, a family shot. So they did a shot of Grace They did a shot of Sophia. They did a shot of the grandfather. They did a shot of the grandmother. Now, this is where Grace made Darius get into the picture. She told Darius, come on, let's take the picture. Come on into the pictures. So Darius sitting there taking his picture and everything. I think that picture's going to come back into bites Grace in the butt. We're going to talk about that later. But anyway, let's get on with this, right? So we take the pictures of, Zora and, Jacob and Carissa. And so we get into it. We get into the cotillion and everybody is like getting ready to dance and everything. So, but before they get ready to dance, they introduce the young ladies. And let me tell you, Sophia and Zora, they are brainy nuts. It's because they had a GPA of a 4.5. And that's almost like an A plus, over it's like an A plus. Both of them are very, very high in their academias. And so they go on and they do their little dance and everything. And so the bishop danced with Sophia and Jacob danced with Zora. And then after they finished dancing, the father and daughter danced. Then, the regular boyfriend and girlfriend danced and everything. And so that's when Zora and Isaiah, get on the dance floor and they're dancing and everything. And so that's when Isaiah tells Zora, he says, look, I've got a limousine for us tonight. So, after the cotillion, we can basically, leave and everything. And Zora's like, nope, can't do it. Not for me. And so that's when Isaiah was basically saying, what do you mean you can't do it? And they up there doing their thing up on the dance floor and everything. In the meantime, Zora says, look, I will tell you later. I can't tell you right now. I'll tell you later. And so he's basically trying to press Zora and say, well, why is it that what's going on? In the meantime, Sophia is noticing that Zora and Isaiah is going at it. And so for the second time around, Isaiah gets, nasty and mad, and as his usual childish self, he stomps off the dance floor. And of course, being in love, as Zora is, go and chase behind Isaiah. In the meantime, Sophia is basically looking at what's going on. So she basically follows Zora in the back. She didn't say anything. She didn't, she just went to observe to see exactly what's going on. And so that's when we find out that Zora tells Isaiah, says, look, I can't go off on a limousine with you tonight. It's because basically I'm on punishment. And the reason why I'm on punishment is because my mother then found out that we are having sex. And then I cannot see you anymore. And that's when Isaiah is saying, well, why is it that you can't see me? What they think that we're supposed to be, what's going on? It's your fault that they found the condoms and everything. And Zora would say, well, what do you mean it's my fault? I told you to keep them into your bedroom. I'm the one that's in trouble. You're not the one who's in trouble. And then that's when Isaiah gets to grabbing her again. And that's when we find out that he slaps her. And he slaps her. Sophia sees that Isaiah has slapped Zora. So Sophia goes out and she goes and tells her uncle that Isaiah has slapped Zora. And so this time everybody's sitting at the family table and they get up and Jacob said, where is she? And he gets up. Everybody was like, oh my God, what happened? Who? Slapped who? And so that's when everybody gets up, right? And so then Isaiah comes running behind Zora. Isaiah comes running behind Zora. And then at that time, Jacob sees Isaiah. And Jacob says, did you put your hand on my daughter? Did he? And then he goes back and he asks Zora, did Isaiah put his hands on you? And of course she lied and said, no, He didn't put his hands on me. And then he asked her again, did Isaiah hit you? Did he put his hand on you? And this is when Jacob saw all the bruises and everything that was on his daughter. Now remember, earlier, Zora was in the shop, and the dressmaker was there, and she noticed the screws and everything on her arms. So that's why basically she was wearing a shawl to protect and cover up those bruises. And so that's when Jacob looked at him and said, "You little," and that's when he went, pow, punched the little boy in the eye. And of course, Isaiah went falling down on the floor with one of his eye like that. And I'm saying to myself, you know what? You did it to yourself. You're lucky he didn't knock your lights out. You're lucky he didn't knock your teeth out. Because basically you have mistreated his daughter, his only daughter, his firstborn, and you got the nerve enough to think that you owned her and you don't own nobody. He should have knocked you out. But hey, and so everybody was like in a tizzy. And meanwhile, we have Lady Mae sitting up there looking at, oh my God, Jacob, why did you hit this boy? Oh my God, she's worried about the impression. She's worried about the brand. And she was like, oh my God, why did you hit her? And she's basically trying to console the woman who's in charge, of the director of the cotillion, to kind of smooth everything out and everything. And so in the meantime, we have let's leave this one and let's go over into another part of the tour where Charity don't know what the hell is going on with her nieces. Zora is getting her butt kicked by a young boy who thinks that he's in love, but he doesn't know really how to express love. The only way he knows how to express love is to start hitting when he can't get his way. A little spoiled child. But Charity don't know what the hell is going on. She's getting ready to get her groove. She's getting ready to basically get her groove on. And so we see that Charity and Jabari has gotten together and they are in the bed. Jabari is sitting in the bed and waiting for Charity to come out. And Charity has on this negligee, which is very, very silk negligee. Charity is a very beautiful woman, very dark skinned, chocolate. She has a very nice figure and everything. And yes, she could and would be attracted to a lot of men. So she gets in the bed and she tells Jabari, she says, look, she's kind of sort of not really, she's kind of shy. And Jabari says, look, you're beautiful, and basically, I've been waiting for this day. I was like, are you kidding me? Are you telling me that you've been wanting this woman and knowing that this woman was in a marriage, and you are talking about you've been waiting for this day? I was like, oh, okay. So you one of those kind of persons, right? So in the meantime, Charity tells, Jabari says, look, I have a scar on my stomach. They had to, I had a C-section. I have a scar and everything. So Jabari says, okay, well, where's the scar? And she says she showed them on the stomach. I was like, oh. I said, uh-oh. Jabari's getting ready to wing her in. He getting ready to wing her in. So he goes and he kisses her on the scar. So you know what? It went down with Jabari and Charity. In the meantime, Charity's getting a groove down. In the meantime, on the other side in Memphis or somewhere, Sophia and Isaiah and the bishop and all of them, and she does. Charity don't know what the hell going on. Charity don't know that her father has moved out. Charity don't know that the mother has had an affair with one of the best friends. Charity don't know nothing. And like, yes, Charity does get left out in the dark a lot. And so we go back on the other side of the town. We go back into, the other state. And we see that everybody is trying to get Zora to come out of the bathroom. And so the auntie could, bring her out. And so Sophia, and she tells Sophia, Zara is in the bathroom. She tells Sophia, Zara tells Sophia, like, look, I don't even want to hear, because you told, my parents, basically, what was going on with me and Isaiah. And basically, I'm thinking like this. You're lucky that she did, because if she didn't, I don't know. And who knows? You could have wind up with 2 black eyes dealing with this boy, because he seems like he's going to be very, very possessive. He's already presented himself as being an abuser. I don't know what's going on. I think he might have seen his parents or something, because kids adopt to what they accustomed to. And so apparently Zara did not come out of the bathroom. So eventually Grace was able to get her to open up the bathroom door. But before she opened up the bathroom door, of course, what did we get? We get a little call from who? The little abuser. Hello? And she said, oh, Zara, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I was like, oh, here we go again. The bullshit. I didn't mean to do it. I'm sorry. She says, you always tell me that you didn't mean to hit me and everything, and you wind up doing it anyway. And then this is when Isaiah says, I don't know what it is about you. You just make me so crazy, he was saying. And I just don't know why, She says, but you always tell me that you're not going to put your hands on me, and you wind up doing it anyway. And so Isaiah asks Zara, he says, come go away with me. Let's get away from here. So Zara didn't really give him any answer or anything. And so Zara eventually comes out of the bathroom and everything. And everybody, basically, is relieved that she finally comes out the bathroom. But after she comes out the bathroom, Jacob is in the corner basically waiting for, his daughter to come out of the bathroom. And then his father comes towards him. The bishop comes toward him, and then Jacob tells the bishop, says, look, I don't want to hear what you have to say, and I'm just not in the mood for it. And the bishop said, you don't know what I was going to say. He says, you don't know what I was going to say. And basically what I was going to say is that if I was in your position, I would have basically did the same thing. And then that's when Jacob was basically coming at him. It's like, well, why did you do that? The same thing when it came to faith. So we getting ready to go back on memory lane. We getting ready to visit some old wounds and everything. And so the bishop just looked at him and just kind of like walked away from him. And so that's when everybody was basically getting ready. But before we leave the cotillion, earlier we see that Tasha and the bishop has basically got together and sat down. No, strike that. It is Roselle and the bishop has gotten together, and Rochelle sees the bishop is basically sitting down by himself. And so Rochelle asks him, do you want to dance and everything? And the bishop says, no, I don't want to dance and everything. Right now, Lady Mae is basically busy. She's talking to some people, and I don't want to interfere that. She says, well, you should at least dance. And she says, no. And then Rochelle says, well, you know what? I'm going to sit down. So she sat down and she said, let me just get to the base of the crux of the issue and the situation when it comes to you and me. When I first came on the scene, I basically told you exactly what my interest was. It was not the church. My interest was you. And so the bishop says, yes, I gathered that much. I gathered that much. And it's apparently, and then Rochelle says, well, it's apparently that you are somewhat attractive to me. And the bishop says, yes, I'm somewhat attracted to you, but I don't think that this is going to happen. I don't think we should do it. I was thinking to myself, what a way to go, Bishop. Go ahead. Don't do it. And so we find out that Tasha and Lady Mae was basically, this is during the cotillion, was standing beside each other. And so Lady Mae comes in and says, Tasha, I am so sorry, that I gave you, such a hard time, in the beginning of all of this. And Tasha says, oh, no problem. But Tasha is saying to herself, you're still not going to get, you will never, if I have anything to do with it, you're still not going to get on any magazines or anything. And she didn't say that to Lady Mae, but this is what she was basically thinking. And so that's when, after Lady Mae moved out, that's when Rochelle slides in right next to Tasha and told Tasha and says, you know what, this is going to be a little bit more harder than I think it was. And this is when we find out that Rochelle is basically Skank's sister. Basically, we knew that Rochelle, we had a suspicion that Rochelle might have been basically Skank's sister, but we wasn't quite sure, right? We wasn't quite sure. And so we find out that Tasha says, do what your brother tells you to. Do what your brother tells you to. Go to plan B and to bring the Greenleaf down. And this is when Rochelle tells Tasha, yes, we're going to bring them down, and we're going to really bring them down hard. And so there it is, guys. Rochelle is basically Skank's sister, and we know what's getting ready to happen. We're assuming what's getting ready to happen. And so everybody's leaving the Kazillion. And so that's when Lady Mae says, I'm getting ready to go. I'm going home. I'm going to change my clothes. And the bishop says, you're going to change your clothes. And where are you going? She said, I'm going to go and change my clothes because I'm going to go see my sister. And so that's when the bishop looked at Lady Mae. And so Lady Mae and Mavis. Let me tell you. Lady Mae gets to where Mavis is. And she sees that Mavis is basically packing and everything. Mavis is going through all of her records and stuff like that. And, you know, she's just like leaving. You know, I guess she's tired of chasing the young guy. And so and Lady Mae notices, she says, basically, where are you going? And Mavis says, look, I'm getting ready to move. I'm getting ready to relocate. I'm going to Stockholm's. I'm going to Stockholm's. The white people out there, they love themselves some jazz, and I'm going to open up me a club out there. And so Mavis, after Mavis finished telling her, I'm going to open up me a club, and Mavis says, okay, what is it do you want, Mae? What is it do you want? And then that's when Lady Mae brings out the deed out of her pocketbook and everything, and to let her know that the club was basically yours in the first place. You never did lose your club. And then Mavis says, well, I don't want it. You know, I just don't want it. I'm moving on. I'm tired. I'm moving on. Do what you got to do. Give it to Grace and everything so she could do her charity work or anything. Give it to Grace. I don't want it. And so at first, Lady Mae didn't want to accept the deed, but she went on to accept it. So I don't know. I don't think, we don't know. But anyway, so this is when Lady Mae says, look, I need you to stay. You know, basically, we don't have anybody. It's you know, my brother's gone, our father's gone, and there's nobody but you and me. And Mavis says, well, okay, well, good riddance to them. I'm glad that they're gone. She says, it's good riddance. You know, what's the big deal? I don't care. He was an abuser anyway, so what's the big deal? So what? She says, I need my sister and everything. I need my sister with me. And Mavis was like, a fine time you're trying to be a sister. She said, you don't know how to be a sister. And Lady Mae said, no, I don't know how to be a sister, but I could basically learn. And so that's when Mavis kind of stepped back for a moment. And he's stunned. She stunned her about what she said. She could basically learn. And then Mavis kept packing. And so that's when shit got real bad, y'all. Stuff went to popping. So Lady Mae went on and said, look, I forgive you. And this time she started, you know, people getting bold. She said, I forgive you for that one time that my husband had with you. I forgive you. And Mavis says, you forgive me for what? She says, Lady Mae said, for that one time that the bishop says that he had, you know, a relationship with you. And Mavis looked at her and said, is that what he told you? Because, she had that head cocked. Is that what he told you? And you believed him. I can't tell you the number of times that I basically had to chase your husband, out of that bedroom, out of my bed, and tell him to go back home to you. I can't tell you the number of times. And so Lady Mae said, no. He said, you know what? This was when Mavis lowered a boom on Lady Mae. She said, you know what? He never loved you. He never loved you. It was all about the image. It was all about being, you were a show on the arm. You were a showpiece on the arm. He never loved you. He never loved you. She said, you got everything. You got the husband, you got the children, you got the money, and you got the land. You got everything. But he never loved you. He never loved you. It was all about the business. And guess what? He never will love you. And I was like, ooh, oh my God, Mavis, are you going down like that? And so that's when Lady Mae came back with a boom. She said, okay, he never loved me. But guess what? Apparently, he got a wife. And I was like, oh shit. She's kind of right. Because what happens is that whenever these men basically, they cheat, and women, because women cheat too, these men are not going to leave their wife. Prime example, Kevin Hart, T.I. I could go on and name more people. They're not going to leave Jay-Z. Come on. They're not going to leave their wife, not especially if they've been there with their wives for a very long period of time and they have basically built an empire and stuff. They're not going to leave their wife. And if they do and they get married, guess what? They wind up cheating all over again, because this is what Kevin Hart did. And this is what Kevin Hart talks about it. He talks about his cheating and stuff like that. And so by Lady Mae lower the boom and Mavis couldn't really say anything, is because Lady Mae was right. She's quiet. So we go on and it's the next day. It's the next day, and we see Jacob and Carissa in the bed talking about, what should they do about Zora. And Carissa is feeling sorry because she thinks that she's basically went wrong. And she asks Jacob, she says, well, where did I go wrong and everything? And Jacob says, basically, you didn't go wrong or anything. Things like this basically happen. You have to remember, when Faith was here, Faith basically was dating a man that was basically abusing her. And you didn't go wrong. And this is when we find out that Faith is also dating an abuser also. And so Jacob says, okay, well, I'm going to get ready to go in and I'm going to talk to my daughter, Zora. So he gets up and he goes and he knocks on Zora's door. And when he knocks on Zora's door, he notices that Zora didn't come to the door. And so that's when he opens up and he finds that Zora has left. I said, Zora, why? But then it goes back to what Lady Mae was basically telling Sophia earlier in the scene, when Isaiah came to pick up Zora and he blew his horn instead of coming in and picking up Zora. He blew his horn, and that's when Lady Mae said the heart wants what it wants. And basically that's what's going on with Zora. The heart wants what it wants. And so we find out that Zora has basically ran away and ran off with Isaiah. She left the phone, and basically that's a sense of when you leave the phone, That's a lack of communication. So Zora, if something does happen, Zora will not be able to communicate with her parents as to what is going on. And so Carissa and Jacob is really upset. So we go on over to the mansion. And we see Lady Mae comes in. And we notice that Grace has come downstairs. And notice that her mother has been out all night. And she says, Mom, I see you've been out all night. She said, I'm basically tired, but you know what? And then she looks at the bishop. She says, you know, I want you out. She says, I want you out of my house like now. In other words, get your little rump and leave. I want you out right now. And when she basically tells the bishop, she says, look, I want you out. And then that's when she calls Marisol again. I said, poor Marisol. She calls Marisol again. And she tells Marisol that she's hungry and, you know, she tries to go on with her life and everything. And so when she tells the bishop, look, I want you out of my house. And the bishop looks at Lady Mae and the bishop says, so be it. I was like, are you serious? Did I just hear this? Did I hear you tell your wife, so be it? In other words, okay, cool, no problem. I got it. Hey, it was going to go downhill anyway. You know, because basically I had really moved out anyway, so be it. What the hell? I'm rolling, I'm out. I'm jetting. And so I was like, in the meantime, we see the bishop. He walking down the steps and everything. And we see that he's staring off into the sunset or whatever. And then this is when we see Rochelle. I was like, ooh. Rochelle comes out. Because, you know, they were in the hotel. And so, where the cotillion was. And so Rochelle comes out. She's looking stunning. You know. And she goes after the bishop. I was like, oh, here we go. Plan B. And he goes towards her. They go into the swinging, revolving hotel doors. And that was the end of episode 16, season 2, titled The Pearl. This episode, the final finale, was extremely wonderful. I love how they went about it. They left all kinds of cliffhangers hanging all up and down, dangling. You know how we were voting and they were doing the cliffhanger. That was years ago before some people, and they was kind of cliffhanging. Is it hanging? Is it a vote or isn't it a vote? Did they punch it or did they not punch it? This was definitely seriously cliffhangers. Let's look at some of these cliffhangers. Okay? Just let's look at them. We have, I believe I talked to you earlier about that picture that Grace took with Darius and Sophia. That picture with the family picture and everything is going to come back and bite Grace in the behind. One reason why it says Sophia's father was unable to go to the cotillion, and Sophia is going to send a picture to her father. Let's look at another one. Okay, so we find out that Rochelle, Tasha, and Macy Skanks, that's the sister, who's getting ready to bring down the bishop. How they going to bring down the bishop? She's basically, I don't know whether or not the bishop going to take the blue pill. I hope the bishop doesn't take the blue pill, but I think he's going to take the blue pill because he ain't had none in a while. So I think he's going to take the blue pill. I'm hoping that he don't, but I believe he might. Jacob. We know that the treasurer don't like Jacob, and Jacob's kind of figuring, yeah, she don't like him. And that's okay, because basically I'm going to do, you know, my homeless reach out, and she doesn't want him to do it. And I think Jacob is going to get himself in some hot water with this deputy. And Isaiah has have Zara. Now Isaiah has Zara in his clip and in in a promise's hands, because Zara did not take her phone with her. And so when you have people who are like in an abusive or an abusive relation, the first thing they do is, the first thing on the agenda is to cut all means of communication, is to isolate from the family. Kevin is going to be doing a custody battle. Charity is going to fall in love, or maybe fall in love and find out that Jabari is really not really in love with her, but just in love with the voice, and he just wanted to, I guess he just wanted to sample. We don't know. But that was a cliffhanger from Greenleaf. Until the meantime, I'm saying all things Cheryl. Thank you for checking in. Thank you for checking out. I will get back with you guys on October the 2nd and October the 3rd for the premiere for Queen Sugar. This is my first time tackling, doing reviews and recounts of TV shows. I'm sure I made, some mistakes, but I think as I go along, I will probably get better. The way I do it will probably get better. I'm saying stick with me and see how I evolved. Until then, this is All Things Cheryl saying peace, ciao. Peace, ciao. Click, subscribe, and share, and notify. In the meantime, one love. And one more thing, please help out with Puerto Ricans, please help out with the survivors, and give as much as you can. In the meantime, I said peace and love.